Oh, yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your feel-good breakfast show. Reminder, it's Thursday. I know it always feels like a Friday here, but let's bring on the feels nonetheless, because this morning we are joined by Paige Lindenberg. Now, she's a powerhouse in South African motorsport and the motoring industry as a whole. Now, everything from growing up around racetracks to now running the Car Basics course. She's all about empowering everyday drivers with confidence, with skill and a love for the road. And she's joining us this morning to delve into her racing heritage, her professional endeavors, and the perspectives on today's F1 landscape, which is absolutely changing, hopefully for the best. But firstly, Paige, how are you doing this morning?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. We are all here safely, so that's a
Yes.
good thing, especially when you think about the chaos on the roads. But I want to talk to you about your career in racing just from the very beginning. What sparks a female in South Africa to get into the love of cars and the love of racing? How does that work?
Yeah, so I was really lucky. I was born into it. My dad, Peter Lindenberg's a household name in powerboating, car racing, all those things. And I actually started in powerboats. So when I was 5, my dad let my older sister and I test out a powerboat because he was training some youngsters. And I got out and I said, I want to race. And my older sister said, no thanks, not for me.
Because it's so dangerous as well. Can we just talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the norm, you know.
No.
And my dad had 3 daughters. So one of us, you know, the bug had to bite one of us. He always said if he had a son, he would be a ballet dancer because we were all like real wild tomboys.
I love that.
And then, I was too young at 5 to get a powerboating license. So eventually at age 7, I was still a year young, but they granted me a license because they watched me and saw that I was capable.
7 years old.
Yeah, and then so it all started in powerboating. So I started powerboating from 7 until I was about 12. I won South African champs and world champs. And then my dad had a really bad powerboating accident in Saldanha Bay, actually, and he was declared dead for the 2nd time. Yeah, he had drowned, so they managed to resuscitate him. He was in a coma for a week, and it was hectic. So he just decided powerboating was too dangerous because when you have an accident, you drown. So he stopped powerboating. He made me stop, and we moved to cars. I moved to cars then. He was already in cars. So I missed that like go-karting, you know, like beginning era in cars because of the powerboating.
All the F1 drivers, it's like standard
that's
practice.
Where you start, but I had the powerboating behind me, which helped a bit, but very different. I mean, completely.
Wow, but listen, I'm grateful for your dad making that decision and losing 2 of his 9 lives, clearly, in order to do that, because I think he's protecting you, and look at what it's ended up doing. I'm sure you would have slayed powerboating, but grateful that you're in this industry, because I think it's such a male-dominated industry, and I think we need women in the sport. For you, I'm sure there's been so many challenges along that way once you transition into motorsport. I'm sure you didn't have any females around you to console with and confide with. What was that like for you, really, though? Like that sort of transition into being an isolated woman in the space?
Yeah, so look, it's not easy. It's definitely changing. Things are getting better, and there's definitely more women involved in motorsport in general. But guys have knocked me off the track on a straight when I pass them because of egos. And like I've literally just had to learn to really hold my own and have a very strong backbone. I'm a really calm, chilled, kind person most of the time. But when I put a helmet on, like I've got to have that
something
fight
switches on,
because unfortunately they take advantage of the fact that you're a woman and you're a lot more timid and, you know, willing to
accept that. They think you're going to be a softer driver maybe or something.
So I had a rough few years in my initial change into track motorsport, and I had 1 or 2 guys who just constantly went after me, and eventually my dad said, if you're going to do this, you need to stand up for yourself. And I'll never forget the like changing moment. Someone knocked me off track again, and it wasn't the first time on a straight, and I got out my car with my helmet on, and I remember marching down, and never even took anything off, marched down the pit lane, and I went and I let him have it. And ever since that, I've like gained huge respect. I mean, now I've proven that I have a right to be in the sport, because it's also hard. I come from a name where there's a lot of pressure. My dad
there's expectation.
A big expectation. So I think that was also really hard, is that some people may have felt in the beginning I was there because of my dad and because I had the surname. Because
of who he knows.
Exactly. So I had to prove that I actually have the ability to be there and I can drive, and I've now proven that. So I've gained a lot of respect, and it's definitely a lot easier.
If anything, it's just like twice as hard for you because like everybody's looking at you with this microscope and you're having to show up not just holding your own, but almost going above and beyond. And I think this has definitely paid and contributed to your actual success right now because, wow, look at you, an actual champion. I want to talk about something that's, for me, very inspiring and so needed right now. You launched the Car Basics Course Initiative, which I think is incredible. So let's just talk to Mzansi what exactly that is about. I think it's fantastic. And what inspired this?
So it was just before COVID, and I had this idea that I am a girl and I grew up with a dad in the sports, so I knew a lot about cars.
Yes.
I knew how to change a tire, I knew how to check oil.
Yes.
And I was like, most women don't know how to do these things. So I decided I wanted to inspire women and help them become more independent day to day. It's not teaching you to become a mechanic. It's literally, if you get stuck in a situation where you need help, how do you help yourself? Because you can't always rely on other people. COVID then hit and everything went on hold. And 3 years ago, I contacted Tiger Wheel and Tire and I said, this is my idea. I really think that we can change people's lives and inspire them and empower them to just be more independent when it comes to their daily lives. And they jumped on board, loved the concept. And between the two of us, we got together and launched this incredible concept. And other brands have come on board because the main thing for us is oil, batteries, windscreens, and tires. So we got really awesome partners on board, for all those different aspects, and we've started doing courses. So every few months, we'll do a course at a Tiger Wheel and Tire store around the country where people can book tickets to come. And it's about a 2-hour course. And we do a practical, physical course where they change a tire with us, check the oil with us, see how you actually physically do these things. And now we've started going into corporates and schools as well, which is really awesome because, people get first cars in grade 11 or matric and they get a key and they go. They have no idea what to do with the car. So it's really just to empower people, and I'm all about independence. I'm very independent as a woman, and I just want to empower other women to know that they can do these things themselves. They don't always have to pick up the phone and rely on a man to help them.
Yes.
The funny thing though is I've realized a lot of guys also
I was going to, yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you that,
Yeah, like how many guys actually have ever changed a tire or know what to do? But the problem is they have egos. So they don't like to
pretend like we do, and we're like, I don't have the right tool for this, otherwise I would have changed it.
So we've had a few guys come to the courses, which has been really cool, and we've had fantastic feedback from the guys as well. They've learned a lot. But it's just the egos to allow them to learn, I guess.
Paige, I think what you're doing is incredible. You're using your talents and your gifts for not just yourself, but for a bigger purpose. And I think that's what it's really about. So you're finding that sweet spot in your ikigai, is what I call it, your flow state. And we're not going to let you go anywhere. I still want to chat to you about some F1 and get some of the tips for you when it comes to our own driving. But I think it's such a great reason for you, Mzansi. Get involved in this, especially the gents out there. If you don't know how to change a tire, don't be embarrassed about it. There's options. We can go and learn, empower yourselves, and protect yourselves from a potentially dangerous situation. And especially on our South African roads, we need to educate ourselves on things like this. So, Paige, thank you so much. We'll keep plugging her for the rest of this morning, but this conversation is going to carry on in just a moment.